So if you like the real deal in your salt, you're going to love the real deal in our next speaker. We're going to be having Dr. Donald Vega coming up here today. He is a 46-year-old husband and father. I love that he identifies that is the most important thing. Isn't that precious? He is a registered dietitian and strength conditioning specialist and lifestyle mentor based in Costa Rica with more than 24 years of experience in health education. He is the founder of Philosophy, which was established with one vision to reverse the metabolic disease through a free, fit, happy, and healthy society. Dr. Vega leads a team of 8 registered dietitians in 4 different locations in Costa Rica, where they provide nutritional follow-up and a system to educate their patients on the 10 biological keys of health methodology, which is sunlight, sleep, electromagnetism, thoughts, hydration, breathing, nutrition, exercise, thermotherapy, and stress management. I love that nutrition is just one aspect of that. So his supervisory role allows him to study a minimum of 4 hours a day to keep his methodology on the cutting edge to the benefit of his patients. They provide programs for overweight, diabetic, hypertensive, endurance, and fitness patients with a focus on prevention and reversion rather than treatment. They specialize in low-carb, carnivore, and keto lifestyles. Dr. Vega has been in nutritional ketosis, because there is a difference, since 2011 and has helped over 11,000 patients to improve their lives and lose over 220,000 pounds of extra fat through their interventions in his clinics. He has been a speaker at TEDx and health conferences in Malaysia, Mexico, Panama, Argentina, and thankfully for us, the United States. So actually, you may remember Dr. Vega was in charge of the nutritional counseling in the 2nd season of Reversed. It was a reality show focused on reversing type 2 diabetes for 3 patients. Dr. Vega is also passionate about public speaking, coffee, which is another reason to love him, in my opinion, wine, reading, stand-up paddleboarding, surfing, cycling, and resistance training. It's our great pleasure to introduce Dr. Vega.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind introduction. A couple of things before I start. First one is, I'm a little nervous because this is only my 4th time presenting English. So my apologies for any mispronunciation during my lecture. The second one is, I'm really happy because my son and my wife are here. And I love you, son. One thing, did you know that fear of public speaking is right next to fear of death for most people? So I wanted to set an example for my son that it's not that hard. I mean, you can do it, it's easy. So third thing is I'm really honored, and thank you, Chris and Miriam, for inviting me to this great conference. And I'm really honored to be sharing stage with such smart people. I even feel more intelligent just after listening to them. So let's begin. This is the topic of my lecture: change your mindset, change your life. Moving from auto-sabotage into personal freedom. Just a quick question. Could you raise your hand if you are a healthcare practitioner, just to have an idea of how many of you are here? So the rest of the public, I guess, and are here because they want to change their life. So how many of you have faced auto-sabotage in the past? Could you raise your hands? And not only in nutrition, but it could be anywhere. Relationships, money, right? It's right with us. So what I want to explain to you today is what is that and how we can manage it. I want to dedicate this lecture to Dr. Sarah Hallberg. Quick story: when I was invited to present at TEDx, there's a phrase that says, success leaves clues, right? So I went into the internet and started searching which were the most viewed TEDx talks to see if I could grab something from there and have a better presentation and get some clues. So in terms of health, that's what I found. Dr. Sarah Hallberg, and the lecture that this beautiful nurse was telling us about that made her change her life, and where we sadly lost Sarah Hallberg, and just want to dedicate this to her. Okay. The 10K is not a run. It's our methodology, how we treat people, and it is based on 10 biological keys of health. That's basic principles of health. We don't promote a diet. In fact, we hate the word diet. And we tell our patients, you should never do a diet. You should never diet. Because the association, and we'll go into that, to the word diet is negative. When you have a negative association to something, you want to move away from it. So if we need something or an intervention that is going to be successful, it has to go with success leaves clues. So the way we help our patients is by educating them on these 10 biological keys of health. Again, we don't promote a diet. We ask them to understand and then change their vocabulary to themselves and outside. You're not doing a diet. You are changing your lifestyle. And nutrition is only a tenth of what we need to change in order to be effective at any transformation. And the word here, transformation, is crucial for success. So, I lead actually 9 registered dietitians, and she's the director of our nutrition department, which is here. She came here, so thank you, Ariana, for joining us today. And this is the whole team. And one thing I learned, and thank you for that kind introduction, is all the things she said is not me. The success that I have had is due to the possibility of getting around people that are smarter than I am. And that's because of them that we have success. So we said this is our purpose, is to promote health, freedom, fitness, and happiness in our society. And our vision is the eradication of metabolic disease. Can it be done? I don't know, but I won't rest until I see I have done everything in my power to make that a reality. And you are part of that reality, because together we can change this town, our cities, and finally the world, if we believe we can. We have by now almost a little more than 13,000 patients in person, and I'm not saying this to brag. It's because we want to, or what I want to do is to take all the experience we have had with all these patients, normal people like you with challenges, and bring it up to you so you can discover the patterns that we have found and how they can help you to transform your life. These are the learning objectives. First one is to understand the law of reverse. Second, to identify the clues of failure. We don't want to focus too much on that, because wherever you focus your attention, that's what you get. That's why we have some other objectives. 3, to define a mindset or paradigm and how to change it. 4, to recognize the 2 major motivations for change. 5th, to understand auto-sabotage and how to break free from it. 6, to discover the clues of success. And 7, to reinforce the importance of the mind-body connection. If you stay with me until the end, I'll show you magic. Somebody will join me from the audience, whoever wants to, and I'll make you move an object with your mind. And we all can do that. And I'll teach you how. So, number 7. Okay, the law of reverse. This is very important if you want to go into a transformation. If you want to change sadness, disease, and misery into happiness, health, and prosperity, you must think, speak, and act in ways which are the exact reverse of how most people think, speak, and act. Let's put that in perspective. This is a study, somebody talked about this before, that was published in, I believe, 2019. 88% of adult Americans are metabolically unhealthy. So, let's go back to the law of reverse. If you want to be healthy, should you do what most people do or the exact reverse? Here's the answer. Go the other way and you will get healthy. So, failure leaves clues. In a study that was done to see why people don't succeed or are part of these 88% that are metabolically unhealthy, 6 factors are common. Number 1, it never occurs to them that they can be fit and healthy. Number 1. 2, if it never occurs to them, they never make a decision to change. 3, if they make a decision, they procrastinate. 4th, if they start, they do it without a proper guidance strategy, and that's how they face frustration, because they think it doesn't work, but it's maybe they are not doing the right strategy. 5, the inability to delay instant gratification. And 6, the change is made with a short-term perspective. So from all those 6, 5 of them depend on the mindset. So the reason why I'm standing here is because 80% of a change or a transformation is mental, 20% is mechanic. And even though this is a keto conference, the least thing I will talk about is ketosis, because that's 20%. We need to find out what's in the other side, 80%, and we need to change that in order to be effective. Otherwise, we will experience frustration. That's why we keep facing auto-sabotage, and we need to discover the clues of how to change it. Okay, what's a paradigm? A paradigm is an idea, a mindset, something that we consider to be true, and we will know and understand why that happens. We see the world not as it is, but as we are. That's the problem with paradigms, because when we have a paradigm installed in our subconscious mind, everything we see through that lens. And it is as real as it can be. Good. To get into that, the possibility of transformation, instead of being attached to some invisible force, we need to understand how paradigms are formed. So, how do we get a paradigm? It comes from 3 different ingredients. Number 1, authority. Some authority figure tells us something. We assume that's true. In this case, my son, who's only 6 years old, everything I tell him, since he doesn't have any experience somewhere to compare to, he absorbs that information, and that becomes the truth for him. So that's one. The second one is any message that has attached to it a big emotion, like happiness or sadness. It is full of emotion. It gets into our subconscious mind, stays there, and creates a paradigm. And the third one is repetition. So let me tell you a small story. You know this program, My 600-Pound Life, where a doctor goes into surgery to help people lose weight who are very overweight? I was watching that one day, and I saw a brother and a sister who were very, very obese. And the story why they got like that, they traced it to that, was that their father was a physical abuser of their mom. So what he remembers is that every time the father was physically abusing the mom, his sister would take him away, go into a dark room full of food, and she would start giving him food with a closed door so they couldn't hear what was going on outside. So instantly that was programmed for him. When you are facing a difficult situation, the way you solve it is through through eating. And 30 years later, he's more than 600 pounds overweight. And he doesn't know why he can't change. Every time he wants to change, he's facing an invisible force that will not allow that to happen. Okay, this is how a paradigm gets formed. This is the head. Let's think of this as the head. This is the body. This is your actions, and this is your results. We'll put a middle line into the head, and we will divide it into two. One is the conscious mind, and the second one is the subconscious mind. Did you know that almost 98% of your decisions are based on your subconscious information? So you have an old image or a bad mindset or a bad paradigm. That's what we want to change, bless you. So this is the way it goes. The way your subconscious mind is programmed is the way you do things, and you don't know it. Through your body and your actions, and then you get those results. So if you want to see an equation, the results equal the information that you have programmed in your subconscious mind. As easy as that. So the question becomes, how do I change? If I change through actions because I'm really motivated and I want to make a change, I want to make a transformation, but I don't work on my subconscious part, this is what's going to happen. I start in a different direction. As soon as my subconscious detects there's a detour of my regular way of behaving, it says, no. Where are you going? This is your identity. This is who you are, and you need to get back to this. So that's the way we experience auto-sabotage. Question is, how do we change our paradigms? We need to create a new self-image, a new mindset, a new paradigm, a new set of beliefs about ourselves. And how do we do that? Magic, again. Authority, intensity, repetition. Who is going to be the authority from now on? Is it going to be your mom or your dad who told you, as Joe was saying, you need to get some 20 pounds back, because if you suffer from cancer, then you won't have anything to hang from, right? That's a paradigm. Who is going to rule in your life? You is the answer. So you decide immediately what do you want to change. Second one is intensity, and third one is repetition. So dare to dream big. Dare to dream big. Before this was a reality, it didn't exist, but it came to somebody's mind and they dreamed big. And that's how magic starts to happen. So here's the first clue. Visualize 3 times a day. There are 2 specific times of the day where our subconscious mind is very susceptible to reprogramming. That's when you're waking up, right in the moment where you're changing from subconscious to conscious mind. If you start visualizing that idea or paradigm or self-image or mindset that you want to install into your subconscious mind, that's the moment to do it. Right? First thing in the morning. Second one, this is very important, is before you fall asleep. And you fall asleep with that idea. And down it went. Starts to impregnate the subconscious mind. And the third one is find a moment in your day where you are relaxed and you are able to take away 5 minutes, close your eyes, and start visualizing whatever you want to believe. But here's the thing. Remember, 80% of our results are mental. So there's a phrase, I believe it was by Henry Ford. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, in both cases, you are right. So it's basically a decision. What do you want? That's the first step. Okay, so as soon as you start repetition, this is what's happening into your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind starts to impregnate with this new information, and the more you do it, the more you put your emotions into it, the more you change your self-image, your new paradigm, your new mindset, and then your body changes, which means that your actions, all actions stop, which means that your old results stop. You begin new actions, and then you get new results. Does that make sense? And at the end, you will be lifting your hands in triumph, right? Thank you. But it goes further than that. So these are real people, not those pictures you have in there, but these are real situations that we have with our patients. Which are the motivators for change? There are two. One, gain pleasure. Second one, avoid pain. Those are the two main forces that drive your decisions. So, and since I won't go down. Let's focus on the first, on the left, on the top, the one that is jumping. This was a lady one of our patients who wanted to completely transform her life and become the fittest that she has ever been. So that was what motivated her. So remember, somebody that is comfortable will not change. And somebody was saying before that if you focus on your weight, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds, but there's no substance behind that change. Change is not going to be effective. You need to know why, and this was her why. She wanted to change. She wanted to become the fittest she has ever been. The second one, from left to right, on the top, with a bikini. This was a 42-year-old female who was going to turn 43, and she was planning a trip on a cruise with her two best female friends, and she wanted to wear a bikini instead of a long bathing suit. That was her motivation, and she said to me, listen, I know this is, like you probably hear all this all the time, but this is my true motivation. So, yeah, if that is for her, it's perfect because that's what will move her. The third one, there was a parent who wanted to have enough energy to play with his kids. So that's what made his decision. The fourth was somebody who wanted to gain more self-love since she she finished a relationship, so she wanted to gain back that self-love. The fourth one was a guy who wanted to run a marathon when he turned 38. The sixth one was a lady who wanted just to, get old and be healthy, like enjoy the moment of her life when she was retired. The next one was a client. He was 48. His motivation was to walk what they call the route of Santiago de Compostela. That's something in Spain. It's like a pilgrimage. So that was his motivation. The next lady was somebody who had a wardrobe that she couldn't use because she was overweight and having that as this is my goal. I have it. I can't wait to get back into those clothes. That was what moved her. The next one is representative of two patients, doctors, the brothers Zumbado, who are Ironman runners. So they wanted to improve their times, and they did it. The other one, and this is very common, people come to us and they say, I just want to be healthy because I want to be present when my children graduate or they get married. I want to be there. So that's what moves them. And the next one, she was a teacher, a dance teacher, and she wanted to represent to her dancers the standard of health. And that's what moved her, and that's why she made the change. Maybe I'll talk about why she got into sabotage later. Okay, avoid pain. These are true cases from patients as well. And you might relate to that. And once you find a clue and this makes sense, I would like that too, maybe you can hang from there, and that's more powerful than just focus on a number of weight that you want to lose. So avoid pain. This is classic. Clothes don't fit anymore. And that painful is when they hit rock bottom and they said, I need to change. I need to change now. The second one was a lady who, she told us that she felt like a stranger in front of a mirror and she didn't even want to look in front of a mirror. The other one is very common, suffering from migraine headaches. They want to change, they want to avoid pain. So remember, we want to move away from pain. The other one, suffering from, she was in a relationship where she was always being criticized. And then she said, this is not going to happen anymore. And then she decided to change. The last one on the top, on the right side, people, this is also a classic. They hide in the pictures. They hide behind other people because they don't want to see themselves in pictures. Lack of energy on the bottom. This was heartbreaking because we used to teach people 4.5 hours of classes. Before they start our program, they need to go through an education session. Before they even get a menu, they need to understand why they are doing what they are doing. So this was 2019, after Easter time. This guy went with his 5-year-old son. They went into a roller coaster. The defense that they lower and use so you don't fly out on a corner, it wouldn't close because he was very overweight. He came back on Monday, and Tuesday he was calling us. This is not going to happen anymore. I won't be the reason why my son can't enjoy life. Avoiding pain. Immediately, he made a change. The other one is when people are bullied. And we recently had a case of a 13-year-old who was suffering from this, and he made a change. That was his motivation. The other one, that's frequent too. Women don't want to have sex with their husbands because they feel ashamed of their body. It's more common than you may think. And, they come and tell us these stories and instant change. They're motivated. And the last one, it was somebody who speaks, and he was selling a product that is supposed to help you lose weight, but he was overweight. So for himself, he wasn't representing what his company was selling. That's why he looked at us and asked for help because, he was feeling ashamed of this. So these are, remember, gain pleasure, avoid pain. Those are the two main motivators. And if you find any of the two, or if you find both of them, it is even more powerful. Now, where is the problem? Why we face auto-sabotage? Here. Every time we interpret that the pleasure we are gaining is lower than the pain we are experiencing through the process, you start to auto-sabotage. That's the example I was telling you about these two brother and sister on this TV show. When he was asked to quit McDonald's to make a change, he wasn't being asked to quit McDonald's. He was being asked to quit the comfort food where he goes to every time there's trouble in his life. That's painful. That's not helpful for him. And we need to change that. So I'll give you some examples. First one, I will always show the same picture of the woman representing somebody who wants to use the bikini. So she wants to gain pleasure. So they start on the keto lifestyle, right? But here's the paradigm. Every time the paradigm shows up and gives you pain instead of pleasure, there's an interference created and you detour from where you were going and you experience auto-sabotage. It's as simple as that. So keto equals eating saturated fat. Saturated fat, here's the paradigm, means you will die from a heart attack. That's the paradigm. Remember, authority, intensity, and repetition are what creates a paradigm. Authority, doctors. Intensity, you're going to die. Repetition, this has been going on for 60 years now. It's a very strong paradigm. So people might start, they feel, and their clothes fit better, and they get better and they lose weight, but all of a sudden the subconscious shows up and tells them, do you remember that this is what's going to happen if you go this way? You're going to die. 2-3 months later, they quit. And that's the same story I'm going to go over. Criticism. You start on a keto lifestyle, you get criticized by your loved ones, sadly, and at that point in time, you just say, I'm not willing to take all this. And you don't say it. It's automatically happening in your brain, and you just stop doing what you're doing. Another one, your body needs carbs. That's a paradigm, and every time that paradigm shows up and you're doing keto, I'm going to faint. If I do exercise, I'm going to run out of energy. Many things start to happen in your head that will stop you from doing what you're doing. This was another story. It was a patient who lost her grandma about 3 months before she came to us. And the way her grandma used to communicate her love to her niece was through cookies that she would cook by herself. So before she came to us, she experienced a auto-sabotage, and she came here looking for answers. And what we discovered was that when she was asked to leave cookies, if you were going to go on a diet, you, of course, going to stop having all those comfort foods. She wasn't asked to get better in her body. What she was being, at a subconscious level, being asked was, you're gonna break the bond you have with your grandma every time you avoid the cookies. And believe me, this happens in real life, and it might happen to you. Bad paradigm. Another one, this was a lady who did three prior attempts to lose weight, and it never worked for her. After asking her and going a little deeper, what we found was, remember I told you this is not a diet, this is a lifestyle transformation, so she had an association. Every time I do exercise, I want to lose weight, I need to eat better and do exercise. They come together. That was the association. But the paradigm that she had is she was a single mom with 2 kids, and she was working, and when she came back to her house, instead of going to work out or do exercise, she would prefer to go to her children at home. So to lose weight, you need to do exercise and change your nutrition. Exercise means pain because exercising means less time with her sons, right? So immediately she auto-sabotages that. And they come together, exercise and diet, right? This was another one. She said, I'm a very, very successful professional woman, and I spend all my money in clothes, designer clothes, and my wardrobe is full of them. Simple association. Every time I attempt to lose weight, all the money that I have invested in getting all this is not going to work anymore. I'm going to lose it. So she started to change, but immediately her subconscious mind came into her rescue because it's painful to lose all the money that she spends on her clothes. I'm about to finish. This was a lady, she was 26. She had a relationship breakup, very, very painful. And her mind learned that relationships mean pain. Relationships mean pain. If she starts losing weight, her possibilities of being into a relationship will improve because she will feel more attractive. I'm not saying that it's going to be like that, but that possibility exists. So her simple mind says, if I lose weight, I'm going to be experiencing pain again. I don't want to lose weight, even though she's doing everything she can to lose weight. So auto-sabotage shows immediately. This was a lady who was changing, and she lost a lot of weight, but Suddenly, her husband started to ask her, are you doing this because because you like somebody from your job? And he started insisting in this. So inside her mind, simple association. Losing weight means pain because my relationship is deteriorating because of my husband's insecurities. I said it in a very long sentence, but it is immediate, painful. Instead of losing weight and being pleasure, it becomes painful. So she auto-sabotages. Who hasn't heard this one? Your cheeks are going to fall if you lose weight. Who wants the cheeks falling? Raise your hands. That's what I believe. And if you have that paradigm, as soon as you understand that there is a possibility that your cheeks are going to fall, you're not going to do this. I promise you're not going to do this. Another one. I don't know from where you are, but from where we are, when you have babies and babies are, their cheeks are full and red and they are fat, that means they are healthy. If they are skinny, they are sick. And as soon as you start hearing that from your parents, 20, 30, 40 years later, when you start losing weight and you see yourself like that, immediately your subconscious mind interprets, I'm getting sick. And detours you. Interesting, isn't it? Another one, she came to our clinic and long story. But basically, her mom used to weigh her and her daughter when they were 8 and 9 years old, 3 times a day. And if they put on a little weight, there was a consequence. So she, very early in life, started to attach pain to a scale. So what we figured out was that she started to kick her appointments. We see patients every 15 days. And it was a month, and she kept kicking the appointment. Wait a second, what's going on? I asked her, she told me the story. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Because she started to get anxious when she knew that she was going to the office to have a body composition analysis. And she started to feel anxious. She started to kick. And of course, she wasn't following the program. So this is real. Another one. This is a classic between 12 and 16 years old teenagers that go to the office because mom is the one who wants them to lose weight. They don't want to do that. So they make a statement by not following directions. I'm not going to do what you want. I will do what I want. Because for me, it is painful to do what you want, especially if you are always insisting on the change, but I don't want to make it. So guess what? 2, 3, 4 visits later, nothing has moved. But as soon as the nutritionist goes ask mom out of the office, and they connect, and they find the real reason why she would like to change, the weight starts moving. But there's an association. And also the one I told you about, I'm on a diet. Diets are painful. They are restrictive. You get social isolation. You gain your weight back. Who wants to do a diet if it is that painful? So if just by changing the words, instead of doing diets, I'm changing my lifestyle or changing the way I'm eating, we go down under our own defenses, and success starts to show up. And yeah, that's what I was saying. You gain your weight back. So change your paradigms. Dare to dream big. Use that I told you about. Authority, yourself, decide what you want. Intensity, repetition. Okay, I'm out of time. Success leaves clues. I'm going to go through them real quickly. A clear and definite vision of your goal. 2, have a strategy and action. This is real. This is what we teach our patients, and they end up being effective, the change. Have a strategy and action plan with specific deadlines. Close your mind to negative and destructive opinions. Remember, every time you want to change, you will be criticized and you will be laughed at. So close your mind. Don't allow those people. Say what we teach our son Emiliano. Stop. I don't like this. We need to be definite. 4, a support group. Very important. If you don't have that, you're going to fail. Faith in the process. Faith is the ability to see the invisible and believe in the incredible to obtain what masses consider impossible. But you believe it, you experience it. 6, never try. Instead, burn your ships. Look that story up on the internet. I don't have time to go through it. It's great. Stretch yourself. Quick exercise. Could you raise your hand as high as you can, please? As high as you can. Everybody, please. Okay, now go higher. Did you see that? If you stretch yourself, you will achieve better things. 8, be excellent. Exceed your own expectations and those of others about what you are capable of. Take full responsibility for your results. It's not the nutritionist's responsibility. It's not your coach's responsibility. It's my own. Results are in direct proportion to the energy that I apply to the change. Anticipate triggers of bad behavior and avoid them completely. If you know you're going to fall for cookies, don't buy them. Throw them away. Don't give them to somebody else. You're not that evil. Okay. Practice patience and persistence. And I'm going to close with this one. I promise, Chris. This is a good one. If you got a sprout of Chinese bamboo and you plant it, nothing's going to happen in the first year. Not in the second year. Third year, nothing is going on. Fourth year, nothing is going on. 5th, 6th, it's still the same. 7th, still the same. But after the 7th year, in only 6 weeks, this bamboo sprout will grow 100 feet in only 6 weeks. So the question is, do I get the result immediately? Especially when we are facing the millennial thing, as Simon Sinek says? No. It took 7 years. The foundations were getting stronger to experience a huge change. So remember that. Patience and persistence. And these are 2 great sources that you can look for. Molecules of emotion and when the body says no. Fully recommended. You would lose if you don't read those 2 books. Thank you very much.